Hello, everyone. Welcome back. How is everyone doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thank you. Uh, I still see black screen all over. You should get into the habit of showing your faces so at least I know I'm in a classroom. Okay. Uh, the exam one, uh, we have now covered about one third or little over one third of the portion for this syllabus. Before I move further, means we have done the process auto costing. Do you have any suggestions, thoughts that I can help you or help improve the class anymore? Then let me know, please. Any thoughts, anything you want me to do more or less? Okay. As far as the exam one is concerned, I'm pretty much very happy with the results on an although I don't believe that average shows anything, it is at 76%. The highest score is 150, lowest is 63. That's why averages are misleading. So, is it okay if I recognize the two top scorers?
Yeah.
Okay. Nathan Wood is the top scorer at 150 points. Congratulations, Nathan.
Thank you.
And Catherine. Congratulations, Catherine. She is at 149, I believe. So it's more or less 150. So and good job. Please keep it up. And the only advice I would give you is for those of you who are delaying doing assignments, please don't do that. It is very, very important that you keep up the pace and do the work uh, as soon as the chapter is over. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult for you to catch up. When I get messages on the last day to for extension because someone has missed it, someone has not missed it, it's kind of tells me that you have been waiting until the last minute to do it, which is really not the way to do it in accounting. You'll be much more beneficial for you to basically do it early. Uh, if there are no other changes that I need to make, then I will continue with the new chapter, start with the new chapter on activity-based costing. I'll go over the basics of activity-based costing. And also in the D2L, I added a handout on activity-based costing, which I'll be using. So if you go into the D2L, you will also see under activity-based costing, a new tab under after process costing has been added. And I have added a new handout on the big view monitor. So we'll be using that handout as well today. Okay, anything else you want me to address before I start?
So I saw the due date for I didn't want to miss it, the academic dishonesty form. I looked for it on the syllabus, but I couldn't find it. Did you say it's on the last page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is on the last page. Just add your name to it and upload it through D2L. I've extended the date on D2L. Means it should be there. I'm hoping it is there. Unless and until I'm mistaken, because few of you have already uploaded. So that tells me it is there. No, it is there. I can show you. That's the last page on it. Okay,
Yes, I see it now. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Take care. So over here, this is what I was talking to you about in under activity-based costing. I've added this uh, handout with the basic view monitor, big view monitor basic information. So I'll be using this today as we go along. Now, there are basically two parts in this chapter. One, and both of them relates to different ways of allocating overheads. Like we did job order costing, that is one way to allocate overheads. Then we did process order costing, that is also another way to allocate overhead and find the cost of a product. Similarly, activity-based costing is another way of allocating overheads, just in a different way. The basic concept will still remain same. That is, you find the overhead rate and allocate it. That's it. Instead of doing allocation once, you'll be doing 4 or 5 times based upon the level of activity. And we will get into that as well. The first part, or the shorter part of it, is departmental overhead allocation. So you can also use a rate based upon the costs in the department. And you have already done this, and it's nothing new over here. But since it is given to you in the chapter, I'll just show it to you. So you've got two departments, overheads of the department. Whatever the department overhead rate is, you can allocate it to product 1, 2, and 3 in the way it is consumed by it. So for example, you've got two departments. You've got the overhead cost at 4,200,000 and 600,000. Suppose the basis is for department 1 is machine hours, and for the second department it is direct labor hours. So for example, over here, you've got total hours, total machine hours in the machining department at 70,000 machine hours. Total labor hours is 30,000 direct labor hours. So these two become the basis of allocating the departmental overheads. So once you have these two, you know how to find the overhead rate. Again, I'm going fast over it because there is nothing new over here. Okay. But please feel free to stop me if I am not clear at any point of time. So in the first department, you know that overheads are 4,200,000. This is the basis. So $60 per machine hour becomes the basis of allocation. Same way, $20 per direct labor hour becomes the basis of allocation. And then the last part is to allocate the overhead based upon the machine hour. So standard go-kart takes 10 machine hours, 10 times 60 gives you 600. Custom takes 20, so 20 times 60 gives you 1200, and basically so on. So that you have done number of times already, either through activity-based costing, through job order costing or activity-based costing. Now the advantages is that information is readily available for a department, easy to implement. The disadvantages are that with many different products, assumptions may not be reasonable. Everything may not vary with direct labor hours or with direct machine hours. And if that assumption is not correct, then you know that the overhead rate is not correct. And we have talked about that also. So what we will talk about today is what we call as the activity-based costing. Now, first I will go over what an activity is. Okay. Now, let's take any facility, production facility. Did I ever give you an example of value added and non-value added activities using a bicycle?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let me go even a step back so that we are on the same page. In my previous life, I was a management consultant. And at one of the companies that we went to, it was a bicycle manufacturer. Now, this situation is typical for most of the manufacturers. So they manufactured, obviously, they assembled, they got parts from different ancillary units and put the bicycle together and basically put their stamp and manufactured some parts and assembled some and put their stamp on it and basically sell it under their brand name. Like if you look at many of your t-shirts, it will say assembled in Thailand or assembled in Mexico. Even though they are US brands, the marketing logo is the US brand, but they have been made in Guatemala or many different countries. Similarly, the different parts of the bicycle were assembled and they were basically put together and sold after inspection. Every bicycle approximately has had about 200 parts or so, small and big. I will generally pick up an example of one part, which is a pair of paddle. Every bicycle has one pair of paddle, unless and until it is that double bike or triple bike used in a circus. But generally speaking, it had one pair of paddle. So when the ancillary unit sent the paddles to the factory, it came to first of all, the purchasing department would basically place the order, and then the order would be met by the ancillary unit. The part would come to the receiving department first. In the receiving department, someone will count the paddles, sign the form that they have received these many paddles. Then the inspection guy will come in, they will inspect the quality of the paddles and say, okay, they have checked the quality of the paddles. Once the quality has been checked, it moved to storage. So the stores guy who took charge of those paddles would count the paddles, keep it in the stores in different bins, and sign the voucher saying, okay, I have received the paddles. The production floorman would come and then get the paddle issued from the stores department. So they will ask for a certain number of paddles based upon the production needs and basically take charge of those paddles, count it and sign it and say, I have received these many paddles. And then finally those paddles become part of the bicycle and it is inspected, final inspection is done, and it is then sold. So those were basically the activities that took place for all those 200 parts. Now, I know it is not as complete information as you would like to have, but I've given you the highlights. Based upon the highlights that I have provided, do you think there is anything that is not right or something that you can eliminate? It's your turn to say something. Let me ask you, is anyone going to say something? Okay, let me ask you another way. Or let me give you the answer and then we'll move forward. The answer is the number of times the pedals are counted. Right now, about pedals are counted 3 times. As a customer, will you pay more for the pedals if the pedals were counted 3 more times?
Yes.
Why?
That I'm not sure of.
It takes longer, more man hours.
I wouldn't want to pay more
Why?
because I'm not getting any different product if it was counted 3 times or once.
So it does not add any value to you, right?
Correct.
Does it add any value to the bicycle manufacturer if they count it 3 more times?
No.
No. So it does not add any value to you. It does not add any value to the bicycle manufacturer, right? Is everyone
Yes.
is everyone with me, please?
Yes.
So that value is basically that activity is therefore called a non-value added activity. Obviously, it does not add any value. So accountants are very creative people. We call it non-value added activity, right?
Yep.
Is everyone still with me?
Yep,
Makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
Okay. So, but does the counting of the paddle consumes resources of the organization?
Yes.
Yes, because it takes man hours and it counts and so on and so forth. So if it is a non-value added activity, if I can eliminate that activity, would it reduce the cost for the organization?
Yes.
Yes, right? It is logical, right? So the effort is to identify these non-value added activities and eliminate them so that the cost can be reduced. And now this is nothing to do with the topic, but I will just tell you this since we are so deep into it already. I had a consulting practice just based upon this one principle of elimination of non-value added activity. You can literally walk into any organization, and if you go in detail of their activities, you will be able to identify the non-value added activities. And if you can eliminate those activities and quantify the elimination in terms of cost savings, you can get a promotion much more easily. What we used to do was we would go to the organization and tell them we will basically save you money, we'll reduce your cost, and whatever cost we save you, basically you give us 50% of that for 3 years. If we cannot save anything, we are not going to charge anything. It was as simple as that. I've got more examples over there, but I don't have that much time. So do you understand what an activity could be?
Yes,
Okay. So here is another example of an activity in a purchase department. Do you see the PowerPoint which says activity of issuing a purchase order?
Yes.
Okay. So generally in a purchase department, this is what happens. Like I went through an activity in the stores, in the production environment. This is on the service side in the purchase department, which happens in nearly every organization. There's a purchase requisition that is made. So if I need 50 computers, I make a requisition for 50 computers. Someone authorizes that. Then the purchase department will invite quotations from suppliers, compare quotations, and then place order using a purchase order. Okay. So these are little smaller tasks that are inbuilt into this activity. So these are small tasks. If you go into detail, these are the small tasks which are there, and the activity is issuing a purchase order. So let's assume that in a purchase department, various costs are incurred in terms of salaries of the purchasing agent, office space, etc., etc. And total cost incurred is say $30,000, excluding the cost of purchases. So it does. So this is basically $30,000 for all these regular expenses that are taking place. Okay. Is everyone good till here, please?
Yes.
So I'm giving you two bases over here. Labor hours used in the factory are 20,000 and purchase orders made were 10,000. If you were to allocate this cost of $30,000, what basis will you use? Will you use labor hours or will you use number of purchase orders? Your turn, not mine.
Purchase orders,
Purchase orders. Why?
because that's the work that the purchasing agents made.
So yes, very good. So purchase orders, you'll use purchase order because labor hours in the factory has nothing to do with the cost incurred in the purchase department. And it is important that you need to have a basis which has some relationship to the cost that is being incurred. This is the most critical point in this chapter, that you need to have identify the right cost driver. That was the point earlier also whenever you allocated the cost. Now we are getting into details. Earlier, if we had the cost incurred in the factory, we would just take it divided by the machine hours. That's it, done. Now what we are saying is we are making this product, these are the activities, and with these activities, these are the costs involved. So we are getting into more finer details of the cost, basically. And that's our assumption that it will provide the much finer estimate of the cost. Any questions until here, please? And again, if you don't ask me a question, I have to assume that you are understanding me. So if you identified the number of purchase orders as the basis, then your overhead rate is $3 per purchase order. Is everyone good with that, please?
Yes.
So now we will use $3 per purchase order. So if a product uses say 10 purchase orders, then 10 times 3, 30 would be allocated. If a product uses say 20 purchase orders, then 20 times 3 at $60 will be allocated as the overhead cost. Now, is that any different from what you have been doing earlier?
No.
No, it's the same concept. You find the overhead rate. The only difference is now you're getting into details of the details of the cost at the activity level. Okay. So you've got the overhead cost and you've got the basis of allocation. Is everyone with me, please?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I would like you to do is go to the handout, which I told you that we'll be using. Does everyone has an access to it on D2L, please? Everyone has an access to that on D2L.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So here is the situation. Big View monitor makes 15 inches, 17 inches, and 20-inch monitors. And they have identified 5 different production activities as well, and the best cost driver for each activity. So the activities identified are these 5: parts handling, parts insertion, automated processing, testing, and packaging. Here are the cost driver, and the cost of budgeted activity is given to you. Okay. Does everyone understand this, please?
Yes.
Now, some additional information is given to you for 20-inch, 17-inch, and 15-inch monitor. We have got the units to be produced. We are assuming whatever is produced is shipped. So orders to be shipped are 200, 500, and 800. Number of parts per unit is 30, 20, and 10, and so on. What we need to find out is the total overhead cost allocated for a 17-inch monitor. Notice that I didn't say the total cost of the monitor. I'm just using the word total overhead cost allocated, because if I ask for the total cost, it would also include the direct material and direct labor that you already know from job order and process order costing. Okay. Now, is the scenario clear to everyone, please?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the good part about this is if you understand one, you basically understand everything. So I'm going to spend some time. First, let me give you about 2 or 3 minutes to do the first thing. So you know that parts handling is the activity. Number of parts is the cost driver. This is the overhead rate, right? Can you give me the overhead rate for parts handling based upon the number of parts? Is the question clear to everyone, please? So if this is the overhead rate definition, I need you to give me the overhead rate for that activity of parts handling based upon number of parts. Okay, you got 5. I'll give you 5. It's 1 o'clock here on my watch. So take about 2, 3 minutes and give me a number. Okay, anyone has any number on that, please?
30?
$30 per part.
Well, $1.50 per part, $30 per unit.
$1.50 per part. That's the overhead rate, okay, for parts handling. Any other number, please? No? Okay. So the first is your total overhead. So in this case, our total overhead is 90,000. There is no debate about that part. And it should be divided by the number of parts, right? So $90,000 is the cost of handling parts for all these 3 monitors, right? So what we need to find out is number of parts now. Okay. So do you see this on your screen? How I found the number of parts first?
Yes.
So 2000 15-inch monitor, 30 parts per monitor, 3000 17-inch monitor, 20 parts per monitor, and so on.
I made the mistake of just doing for one type instead of all of them.
No problems. I just wanted to make sure that you understand this. Mistakes are not a problem. Okay, does anyone has any question on this, please?
No.
So that basically means it will be about 0.529 cents per part handled. And if it is 20 parts for a 17-inch monitor, then it will be $10.58 per 17-inch monitor is the cost of parts handling. Is everyone with me, please?
Where is that 20 from? Is that the number of parts per unit per 17-inch?
Yes,
Okay.
that's given to you. This one.
Got it.
Any other question, please? Okay, if you understand that, then give me the overhead rate for parts insertion based upon number of parts. That should be easy.
$5.82 per part.
582. And then the cost allocated to the 17-inch monitor.
116.47.
Okay, very good. So for the next one, 990,000 is your total overhead cost. 170,000 is the parts, number of parts. So it's 582 per part. 20 parts at 116.47 for every 17-inch monitor is the parts insertion. Questions, please. Again, the concept is as simple as $100 is the cost of 10 pizzas. So cost per pizza is $10. Cost of 2 pizzas is therefore $20. It's as simple as that, concept wise. Okay. Is everyone clear on this, please? Next, give me the cost of overhead rate for automated processing for machine hours. And the cost to be allocated to 17-inch monitor.
Would it be 1768 per machine hour? And for 17-inch monitor, it's gonna be 3536.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you seem to be right. Nicholas. Has everyone got that? Does everyone understand that part, please?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, because you have to say something so I can decide as to what do I need to do next. So as far as the machine hours are concerned, there are 19,000 machine hours. 336,000 divided by 19,000 gives you 1768, and for 2 hours, 3536. Questions, please.
Could we just go over how to get that 19,000 again? I don't know if I missed it or.
Sure, no problems. You got 2020-inch units. Number of machine hours per unit is 4. Right?
Yeah, I'm following.
Then you've got 3,017-inch units. Number of machine hours are 2 per unit for 6,000 units.
I got you.
And 5,000 is for 15-inch. 1 machine hour gives you 5,000. Add them together, that'll give you the 19,000 machine hours.
Okay. Yeah, I just have my numbers mixed up. My bad.
No problems, but do you understand the concept?
Yes. I just use the wrong numbers when I try to do that.
No problems. So, any other questions on this, please? If not, give me the same thing for testing. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes. I need the answers after that. Okay, any numbers for labor hours?
I got 3.4 and then 6.8 for a 17-inch.
Very good. So 3.4 and 6.8 for the 17-inch. Is everyone getting those numbers, please?
Yes.
So number of labor hours, 2,000 times 2 plus 3,000 times 2 plus 5,000 times 2. So that should give you 20,000 hours, 3.4 per hour at 6.8 for the 17-inch monitor. Any questions on this, please? Guys, say something, yes, no, so that I move on.
Yep, I got that too.
Yes.
Okay. Next is we will come to packaging, and the basis is order shipped. Now, in this case, I'm going to explain you that $68,000 is the total cost of the packaging. Number of orders shipped are 1,500. Is everyone with me?
Yes.
Yes.
And in every order, there are 6 17-inch monitors because there are 3,000 units, 500 orders. So for every order, there are 6 monitors in every order. So you understand those basic facts, right?
Yes.
So the total number of orders shipped are 1,500, 200 plus 500 plus 800. 17-inch monitors, there are 6 units for every order. In this 20-inch, there are 10 units per every order, and so on. Okay? So first is, since there are 1,500 orders, cost per order is $45.33. And since 6 units are shipped in every order, for every 17-inch monitor, it is $7.55. Guys, do you understand it, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we did it in 2 steps here. We did it per order is 45.33, but in every order there are 6 units because we wanted the cost per unit. We divided that by 6. So I'm going to go back and make sure that you understand each part of it. So in the first part, we computed 170,000 parts. Then we got the cost overhead rate for the parts handling and the overhead allocated for 17-inch monitor. We did the same thing for parts insertion. We got 116.47 per 17-inch monitor. Now think about it. If the number of parts can be reduced by 1 or 2, then what happens to this cost? So instead of 20 parts, if we only have 18 parts, what happens to the overhead cost?
It goes down.
It goes down. So you see how you can use activity-based costing?
Yes.
So if we think that we can reduce the number of parts by one, I think it was once upon a time Ford or GM had a competition long time ago that if you can reduce the number of bolts or nuts used in their car by one or two, they will give, I don't know how much, $10,000 or something like that. There was some kind of competition they had. Anyway, but it can be done. For automated processing, we found out 19,000 machine hours and 35, 36 allocated for 17-inch monitor for 2 hours. This was for testing hours, 3.4 per hour, 6.8 for every 17-inch monitor. Packaging was 755 for every 17-inch monitor. So if you add the overhead that are allocated to the 17-inch monitor, it will give you 176.76. Okay. Is everyone with me, please?
Yes.
Okay. It is 1:23 right now. I'll give you about 5 to 7 minutes. And what I want you to do is find the overhead cost allocated to a 15-inch monitor and make sure you can match these numbers. Does everyone understand me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
So I want you to do it on your own, and then just to check your answers, I am providing you the answer. And if you are not able to match it, I need you to ask me a question. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, I will leave you alone for about 5 to 7 minutes, and I need you to finish this. And if you get done with 15-inch, do it for 20-inch. Same thing. So I will see you around 1:30 now. Okay, has everyone been able to match these numbers, please?
Can you describe how to do the packaging cost?
Sure. What we did was we found the cost per order, so that would remain constant at 45.33.
Yes, I got there.
Then based upon the number of units in every order. So for example, in a 15-inch monitor, it would be 5,000 by 800. Did I do 15-inch or 20-inch? Which one did I show?
It was 15.
So 5,000 by 800, 6.25. I know it, you cannot ship like partial unit, but you can divide the numbers, I guess. So 45.33 by 6.25 should give you 7.25, something like that.
Thank you.
That's how you got the 7.25. That's how you got it. Okay. Does that answer your question, please?
Yes, that answered me. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question here, please?
After class, can you upload this PowerPoint so we can practice it later?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Here is the next one. Please do the same thing for 20-inch. Give you another 5 minutes. Oh, I guess I was mute. Has everyone got that, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So it is 1:40 right now. If you understand what I just now taught you, then you should be able to do the problems on the activity-based costing chapter here on Connect. So this is chapter 17. Means you can pick up probably anything. Means it's basically the same thing. If you notice that, you find the activity rate and assign the overheads. You see what I'm saying? It's just different a piece of information. Basically the same thing. The concept still remains same. You find the activity rate and then assign the overheads. It might be just for multiple products here. That's all it is. There are 2 products. In this case, we added the material and the labor cost to get the total cost of the product. Okay. So what I want you to do now is do the problems in this chapter. Bring any questions you have on Thursday, and we'll go from there. As far as the concepts are concerned, there is nothing more in this chapter for the concepts. You just have many applications through the problems and the quizzes. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
So be ready with your questions on Thursday. If there are no questions and if you don't practice, then there is no point in my then I would just move on to the next thing.
Okay.
And if you have questions, I'll answer them. If you don't spend the time to practice it, then really it is, I just have to move on. Or okay. Or do you want to have Thursday on your own to do these problems?
That sounds good.
Means that would mean basically I'm not teaching you, but you're doing the problems on your own.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Would
But
you
be-
still be here
but-
to
but
ask
you're-
questions?
Pardon me?
Would you still be here to ask questions? Like we're still coming to class, except we just work on the problem?
No, choose one. Either I work, means you can ask questions on Tuesday, yes. If you decide to do it on your own, then everyone will be doing it on their time.
Okay, that's fine.
You have to decide one thing. I can be here and answer all the questions you have, or you can ask the questions on Tuesday and do Thursday on your own.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I need you to do the problem. There is nothing, conceptually, there is nothing more I can tell you. Means as far as I'm concerned, the chapter is over. It's your practice now.
Sounds like a plan.
We will try, give it a shot this time. If it doesn't work, then we will, since I'm ahead by one or two classes in any case. So we'll give it a shot, see if that works out better, then we'll do. If it doesn't work out, then obviously we won't do it. So so this Thursday we are not meeting then at 12:30. Is that clear?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Have a nice day.
You
You
too.
too. Sorry.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks, you too.
So Professor, I have a question real quick.
Sure.
So I was looking, I started doing the checklist for the Excel sheet a little bit when I had time between like problems. And it says for the need to know videos, it points them out. So are those the only need to know videos that are due like 12, 15, 16, etc.? Like every week we don't have one?
I think except one chapter, there should be for all of them.
Okay, I didn't realize that we had to do those. I was wondering if I did them late, like today, would I still get some sort of credit or no?
I think
Or
I
is it-
opened it up for you. I think you had sent me an email. I had already opened it up for you.
So if I were to complete them now, I would still get
Yeah.
complete credit?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much. Even though it says it's late, if I would do it now, I'd still get credit for it.
yeah, I can do that. I can change it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I did everything else and I did pretty solid. I think I got like a 70 on around like a 70 on the exam, but I just didn't realize that along with that, the need to know videos and the tableaus had to be done.
No, everything has to be done. Means
Okay. Well, I just saw practice, so I didn't realize that it was worth
no. If
points.
you look in the, I explained all those things on the first day, and again,
Yeah.
if you look at my lecture, and means I have not. And if you look at the syllabus, they are very clearly laid out. It's just the classification from the
Yeah.
Connect. I didn't.
All right. Well,
Means
is there?
what I
Okay.
can do is I can open it up for one more day for you and for everyone. And
Okay.
then those two items, I can open it up. And by the end of today, you can finish it off.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.